This next demo is going to show you how to do some timeline animations, just some of the basics, and then we'll go a little bit more into keyframing probably in a later demo. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go, I'm going to go to Photoshop and go File New, and start a file. Again, I'm going 6x6 150. You can create something smaller than that. I probably wouldn't go larger though. The big difference here is instead of going to a frame animation, we're going to change it to a timeline and then have to click on this. Now you're going to see it. It's going to look different than before. Okay, couple quick things you need to do. This little guy will slide, zoom in, zoom out. Left is zoom out, right is zoom in. This allows you to see frame by frame everything you're working on. Okay. Other things you might want to set right here, loop playback under that gear. Okay. The other thing is we have 30 FPS, which are frames per second. That's a lot of frames per second. We're going to lower that. And the other main part that we do stuff to here is this little drop-down menu over here on the right side of the timeline. And I'm going to go in there and, let's see, set timeline frame rate. I'm going to change that to 12. Okay. You can mess around with those times, but I think that's a little bit better. All right. I would highly, highly recommend you setting that before you start working. Okay. The other thing I would recommend you setting before you start working is your length. So the easiest way to change your length is kind of zoom out and then literally just drag your timeline over. Okay, or like your clip over here, your layer 0. You do need something here to be able to drag it out. Okay, but right now we just have a white background. Okay, you can actually use regular layers. So if I made a new layer now and I was like, okay, I want this new layer, you can see it's shorter. So maybe drag it out to make it match. I go up and I'm like, okay, I want my background here to be like a light blue. All right, boom. Okay, and that's actually going to carry through the entire thing. But that is a regular layer. Okay, the big thing we want to do here is we want to use a new kind of layer, which is called a video layer. So I'm going to go up to layer, and I'm going to go up to video layer, go down to video layers, go new blank video layer. Okay, and what a blank video layer looks like is this. Okay, it has like a little film strip on it, so you know it's a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to change up what I'm drawing with. Okay, get a hard edge brush here. Okay, and I'm going to start making something. Okay, so I have my background and I'm on my video layer, and notice I'm also on cell 0, or like the furthest to the left. Okay, so I just make a mark. Okay, I move my playhead. This is our playhead, kind of similar to any other video editing software. I can move that forward, backward, but when I move it forward, you can see it disappears. So what's going on here is I can keep adding images. Okay, also if I hit this little caret here, I can see that's where that image is right now. Okay, I can't really move that, but it's just noting that's altered video. What I can do though is I can go over here to this drop-down menu again and go into my onion skin. So you have onion skin settings here. That allows you to set stuff, but I think one is fine. What onion skins does is it allows you to see whatever frame you're on with your playhead, it lets you see in front of and behind one frame. So if I turn on enable onion skins, now I can see my original image. You can see it's a little bit lighter, you know, when you're not exactly on it. So what I can use this for is, all right, I want to reference that, and then I want something to start growing out of this. Okay, so I'm going to have like some kind of creature or hand or whatever start going. Okay, I go ahead. Notice I can see the previous frame. You can actually set this to be, you know, multiple frames that you see, like 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Okay, I'm just doing this one for kind of, I actually like this. I think the best probably is just the one. All right. And again, we've set our timeline frame rate to 12. So, you know, I just did 4 cells, and you can see kind of its progression right there, right? So I could hit play, but that's going to play very fast, and it's going to be kind of done with. You can also, another little trick I like to do here, and again, when you're animating, you need to make sure you are all the way to the right so that you're on a cell 0, you know, cell 0, 1, 2. Otherwise, you might just be in the middle between 2 if you're not zoomed in enough. You can see how those start disappearing, right? So that's very important as well. And then another thing I like to do is, okay, if I only want to see a certain portion of mine play, I can move this little work area marker over, and then if I hit play, it'll just loop it within that area. Okay, that might be not enough. All right, and I can also turn off my onion skin so when it plays, I can actually see what it really looks like. Okay, so there it is growing. Okay, now, so one of the things I wanted to do, which I wasn't sure if I could do, was I wanted to duplicate cells. So I was like, okay, when I get here, I don't want to have to redraw this cell every time. So what I was doing was I was copying and pasting. Well, that wasn't working. It was actually doing some weird stuff. So actually, if I move this image, watch what happens. It actually moves everything with it. So that's one thing you actually want to avoid. You can't really move now in this layout, okay? Let's see, can I undo Command Z? Getting a little bit weird there. I'll just move it back. So yeah, you can't really move, but what you can do is if I'm set at this frame and I want to copy it forward, I can go to Layer, and go to my video layers, and I can say Duplicate Frame. All right, now double check to make sure it works. So 1, 2, 3, 4, same. Okay, perfect. So that is a duplicate of cell 3 or 3F. And now I can go back, and instead of having to redraw the whole thing, now I can just start kind of adding on to it. Makes life a little bit easier. Unfortunately, I have not found a hotkey for this. Okay, this, you know, if you're familiar with Flash, reminds me a lot of Adobe Flash or Macromedia Flash. All right. And so this is kind of the basics of what you could potentially do with this timeline animation. You know, just kind of using the onion skins and animating. And the other cool thing I think is you can use regular layers. You can also use video layers. So the next time you see a demo, it'll probably be showing you how to, you know, kind of utilize all those and also think about doing some keyframing.